Hello everyone, it's time for another simple recipe. I posted a picture of this one the other day and a few people found it interesting, but it's extremely simple. I'm having a few friends over tonight and we're going to have spaghetti with a not traditional carbonara, but like a cream bacon pepper sauce, and with that some garlic bread, and then after we'll have some flambéed bananas over vanilla ice cream. But when they show up, I'm going to have some olives, and I'm going to have some tiny ribs. Now you can have the ribs as an appetizer, as a snack with beers, or you could have it with rice as a meal. Now when you buy pork ribs in Thailand, you can buy them like this. It's basically a little belt, and they're very short. And so each one by itself makes a comfortable finger food. And what I'm going to do is first just divide them up. Today I'm going to be using a wooden carving board and my plastic one, and I'll wash the wooden one off afterwards, of course. So checking where the bones are, slicing down. And I'm going to do 2 cast iron skillets of this, so I'll do one set and then I'll do the other set after that. There we go, nicely done. Salt and pepper is all the seasoning you need. What I'm going to use is Himalayan pink rock salt, which I tend to gravitate to. Of course, sea salt has my bugaboo plastics in it quite often. And so I tend to go for Himalayan rock salt, which I hope doesn't have any salt plastics in it. There we go. And as I'm sort of anal retentive, I'm going to get a little salt on every single piece, actually taking care. And the pepper is just bought peppercorns crushed with a mortar and pestle, and then I keep them in this jar and sprinkle them over. Not too much. I'm going to turn on the heat. And basically, the seasoning is, I don't know if you can see it very well, but basically salt and crushed pepper. And flip them over. Sometimes you can sort of give them a nice patting so that the seasoning stays in with your fingers. And the same thing on the other side. There we go. Now, with these I'm going to have mini cloves of garlic, which means, voila, these, if you can see them. So they're fairly small, and I serve them up with the skin on. And what you want to do in order to prevent them from exploding when you cook them is just simply cut them in half so that the steam can be released. Otherwise they pop and you get oil splashing. So we'll avoid that just by cutting them in half. And with the pan, what I do is I'll pop some olive oil in there. Yeah, a bit more. And then, because I really love sort of the taste that butter gets, I'm going to add some butter to it. And as it starts fizzling with the butter and olive oil, I'm going to add the meat to it. Voila. And I'll take, let's see. I'll call that a dollop. Voila. And as that begins to fizzle, basically you want to put all meat in when you fry it. You never want to put it in at a very low temperature. You want to have a nice high temperature, because what happens is you seal the surface of the meat and then the juices stay inside. Now this meat I will not serve rare or medium rare. I will serve it well done always, and you can have them same day or next day, it doesn't really matter. They have a lovely flavor with all the garlic. And quite frankly, in my opinion, a lot of meat is even better the next day, just eaten cold. That's how barbaric I am. So, for the garlic, I'll start cutting it. And as I do that, I'll turn off the camera and be back to you in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Now I can hear that the sound has just begun. So the butter and the oil are beginning to pop a little bit. I'm going to pop the meat in, and I'm going to put it so I can see which side it's on. You'll find that when you do ribs, the one side will have sort of like a membrane on it, like this, and the other side will be meaty. And I like this side, which usually has less to be, both sides to be really crispy, actually, because crispy is always nice in my opinion. I'll start putting that side down, and then I'll turn them all over at once, and keep doing them until everything is nice and brown and they're cooked all the way through. And as you see, this fills the pan nicely. Another thing that happens, if you fill it up with too much meat, if you have, say, tenderloins or something like that, if you fill it up with too much meat, and especially if the temperature is low, the meat starts releasing liquids and it becomes like a boiling soup, which is just terrible. So make sure you have a nice temperature going. And between all the pieces of meat now, I'm going to drop in these finely cut pieces of garlic right here. Or not finely cut. They're basically just divided in two to prevent them from popping like popcorn. And make sure they get down. And when the garlic gets cooked like this, you can either just enjoy the meat with the taste of the garlic sort of soaking in the meat, or you can actually eat the pieces of garlic because they're quite delicious when they're done. If anybody's ever had baked garlic, similar to that, back when we're further along. So now I'm starting to prep the second round. I've cut the pork, I've started dicing or having the cloves of garlic, and this is what the pork cooked on one side looks like. And when it's sort of getting a little bit of color, like this, I'll just start flipping them all over. There's been no moving them around, just letting them sit on the heat and develop a nice crisp. And after these are all turned over, I'll just take them out. I'll leave them a similar amount of time on the second side. And then I'll go for the next load, and I won't fill the second load at all. So, there we go. this is what the ribs look like when they're done on one side. And soon, the second side will have the same color and we'll be set to go. And that is all there is to it. And now, all I need to do is scoop these up before anything starts to really burn. This should be well done, but no burnt garlic and no burnt meat. Here we go. The oil I will keep in from the first round because the oil will have some delicious garlicky flavor. Just take out all the garlic cloves. And the second bunch will brown even more quickly and get that color. Oh, I love that sound. There we go. Wash that off later. Wash the knife. Use the fork to go there. And the garlic. And this one too. Trying to get all the garlic down between the meat so that the garlic actually cooks and doesn't sit on top and be cold. Voila! This is the first bunch. And the second will be the same, so there's no need to do more video. Maybe I'll do one when I do the, I guess, the thing is original carbonara has pancetta, and it doesn't have cream, and you have pecorino and other things, but carbonara is one of those pastas that's been sort of bastardized. So I just call it my bacon spaghetti, and I make it with bacon and heavy cream, a lot of black pepper, a little bit of chilies. Sometimes I use cheese, and sometimes I don't. A nice mozzarella or parmigiano. Egg yolks on top, I used to do, until the bird flu hit. And bananas Foster are super easy. I might do a video of that for you. In the meantime, enjoy these with some beer, maybe with some rice, and you're welcome to another easy recipe.